Hi, welcome to Last Stitch Effort. I'm Pacasha, and this is a podcast about using up my yarn stash. I don't have a lot to share today because I did knit a lot. I just didn't really get anywhere. So let's just move straight to that. We'll talk about what I'm wearing later because in lieu of projects, I'll talk about past projects. Anyway, so I guess first things first, we'll talk about FOs, and I only have one, and I haven't blocked it yet, which technically I don't really count it finished until it's blocked, but that's okay. So this is a shawl that I kind of based on, oh my gosh. It's kind of based on Sam Lamb's work sock shawl, but I did change like how the stripes were done, and it's a different weight, different everything, probably. I don't know. I don't have that pattern. I just kind of made it look like a sock monkey, essentially. So I used two balls of palette twist in Asphalt Heather as the main part of the shawl. And then I used some natural and some lipstick palette for just the little edge there. And I did some 2x2. I think I didn't even bind off in pattern. I think I just did a stretchy bind off. So once this is blocked, it'll be a lot more impressive. But until then, this is my little sock monkey shawl. Or work sock shawl, however you like it. Anyway, so that's my finished object. So I guess that's not nothing. I did finish this, and it was pretty big, so. And it was a lot of fun to knit with. And this palette, I think I've said it before, but the twist palette seems to be a little softer than regular palette. So I'm not sure what magic they worked there, but it's nice. Okay. And my current work in progress, I'm only working on one thing, and that's some socks for my mom. I didn't get any further on Nayo socks this week, my daughter's socks. Just because, well, for many reasons. But it was her birthday this week too, so I probably should have, I don't know, worked on them, but there were a lot of things going on. Anyway, so this is my mom's sock. I'm almost finished with the first one, and it's just leftovers. I think the purple, I may have dyed myself, maybe not, I don't know, it might have been an over dye of a commercial skein that maybe I didn't like enough or something, I don't know. I do that kind of stuff all the time. And then just some other little leftovers. This is a mini skein of Knit Picks Stroll, and I think it's pearlescent. It could be Thunderhead, I don't know, that's a really old one. That was a kettle dye from like 10 years ago, but I think that's not what this is. I think it's pearlescent. Anyway, so not finished with the first one yet. It's just kind of slow going. I knit a lot on the shawl, and then I kind of didn't knit much after I finished it, and that was like Saturday, so almost a full week. Anyway, no, not even. That's not math, but knitter's math. Okay, so I guess I don't really have much else to say. I frogged the mittens I was working on, which was the Green Autumn or Druid mittens by Jared Flood. Number one, they were probably the wrong size. I need to move down probably about 2 sizes on the needles. And then I wasn't quite sure if I had enough yarn either. So I might actually look for a different yarn for that. But for now, it's in a bag just right here. I have a little shaker peg thing on my wall, and it's just hanging out there in a project bag. So we'll just kind of see what happens with that. I haven't started any other projects. I kind of want to finish these up and then move on without a whole lot on the needles. I get a little stressed, and I'm already stressed. So yeah, so we'll keep whips down to a minimum. And those are actually my, honest to God, like the only whips I have. Like I don't have, you know, a big pile of 20 project bags with half finished things. A few years ago, I worked through all of those, and I've kind of kept it down to only a few projects at a time, and I feel like that helps me. I have kind of a lot of anxiety over some not silly things and some silly things, and so to help with that, I got rid of the silly things, meaning I worked down my whip pile, and here we are. So that's working out for me. So I thought I would share with you guys some cowls today, because I do wear a lot of cowls. I love to knit cowls. They're probably the project that I wear the most, or the type of project that I wear the most. I do get rid of a lot of them, so this is only a small sampling of what I have right now. I give them as gifts. Not everybody is convinced of the magic of cowls like I am, and anytime I'm knitting one and somebody asks me about it, they seem a little confused as to why that would be such a great project, but I think they're fantastic. Anyway, I keep the ones that I wear the most, or almost all of them actually, except for two, in one of these big old apothecary jars. I like jars. I talked about this one last time. I like to see things, but also if I get overwhelmed by things, I can put them, they're all nice in one container, and then I can put them away and they're still all together. But anyway. So that was loud, sorry. So they're decorative as well as, you know, contained. I don't know what order to start with these, so I'll just start with whatever's on top here. So this one I made probably about 6 or 7 years ago. This is Zealana Luxuria something chunky. It's like silk and cashmere and Australian possum, which is an invasive species in New Zealand. And my husband's from New Zealand. And anyway, I had one ball of this that a previous employer gave to me. Well, I worked at a yarn shop, and she gave me, when she closed it down, she gave me a lot of yarn. And so either I bought this or she gave it to me. For some reason, I'm thinking she gave it to me, but I may have bought it. I'm not sure. It's very pricey yarn, though. And I designed this cowl myself. It's not anything fancy. It's just to use as much of that yarn as I could, because it's a very precious yarn and extremely soft. And I put this pattern in it. It's some Barbara Walker from the Yellow Book, maybe. But I thought it looked like a Pohutukawa, which is a flowering tree in New Zealand. And it has these big red, almost similar to like a mimosa bloom, except they're big and they're red, and they have yellow stamens, I think. And they bloom around Christmas time. So they call it a Christmas tree, or Pohutukawa. And it's the softest thing I own. I've never felt anything this soft. So that's number one. This one, what is happening? Okay, this one is just really simple seed stitch out of leftovers of a single ply hand spun that I did. And you might notice that I do a lot of seed stitch. It is like one of my favorite knitting textures. And so this was a single ply, so the colors kept together pretty well. So it's striped a bit, and it mixed really nicely. I apologize for the light. I'm trying to figure it out in this new room, but we're just gonna have to go with it until I figure something out. My husband Mark wants to buy me a ring light, and something about that just seems so official. I'm an official podcaster if I get a ring light, and that just scares me for some reason, because I don't really want to, I don't know. This is kind of a silly little hobby of mine. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I wear that one a lot. This one, I don't have it in Ravelry, which there's probably a year or two, maybe more, where I didn't record a lot in Ravelry, and I guess this was one of those things, or maybe it's there and I just missed it. But this was the bandana cowl, which is a Pearl Soho pattern, and this is once again hand spun. This one was applied one, but it still had a color change, and it turned out kind of bulky, and I don't usually knit with a lot of bulky yarns, so I think I didn't know what to do with this, so I made a bandana cowl. And I really like this shape, which is kind of what I'm wearing right now, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But I just think it sits nicely, and yeah. I think it's either Hello Yarn or Southern Cross Fibers, this fiber. This one was, I'm almost positive it was Southern Cross Fiber. All right. This one is just a little feather and fan. I don't know if I used a pattern for this or not, but I used Diana. Is that Madtosh or Malabrigo? I think it's Malabrigo, and I think it's there's just their DK or Arroyo. Yeah. And I had just a little bit of this. I think this is Madtosh Esoteric, maybe. Yes, it's just a little feather and fan tube. Sometimes when you don't know what to do with like heavily variegated yarns, I think cowls are really good for that because it kind of doesn't matter. Anyway, I wear that one a lot actually. This one's fairly recent. This color is gonna not work. Oh, it's not too bad. This is the Sitka Spruce Cowl by Jamie Lomax. I did not do the bobbles, and I had to adjust things for the yarn quantities I had. Surprise, surprise. It's always about using up the yarn as much as I can. Has Vickel braids, Latvian braids. Anyway, that one I like a lot. I don't wear it so much, but that's only because I made it 2 years ago when the pattern came out. Like the second I saw that pattern, people were posting their tests, and I just thought it was fantastic. So the second that pattern came out, I bought it. I didn't cast on right away, but pretty close to it. This is, I don't know. It's a slip stitch and a hand spun. And for some reason, I'm thinking it's Kristen Kapoor. Through the Loops, I think is her knitting company. I can't remember the name of the pattern, but I will put it down below. I will put everything down below. And this one was, I think it had some like bamboo viscose or something in the fiber when I spun it, and it was really an interesting yarn. I thought it was really pretty. Like, I could be wrong about that too, but it does have this like, I don't want to say it's plasticky, but it's just a different feeling than just, 100% wool. But I really like that texture. I think it's really cool. All right. This one I think is the same pattern. It's inside out, sorry. This one is pretty sure Malabrigo or Manos de Uruguay, a silk one, silk DK. This one, I think the color is Vigo, and yeah, it's that same pattern that I don't know. Anyway, this one I made up the pattern myself. This one's using a Yarn Bee, like they had these like little minis, and I bought several of them one time, or when my dad was sick actually. I bought a lot of yarn at Hobby Lobby when my dad was sick, because that was the only place. I don't know. I was going through a time. And so I just kind of mixed and matched some colors. I thought these were interesting together. And while it's not wool, it is very soft and quite lovely to wear and easy, and I don't worry about it. And like if I'm going to eat at a restaurant and I know I'm not going to take off my cowl, I'm not going to worry about this one because I can wash it pretty easily. Whereas some of those silky ones, I make sure I take them off because I spill. This one is from Isolde Teague's Colorwork collection 2 years ago. My husband got that as a Christmas present for me. And it came with even a little patch to go on. This is the Mulbin, and it's made out of Rama Finul garn. And it's quite pretty colors. I love that dusty pink. I never would have liked that before, but now it's kind of growing on me a lot. Anyway, it's not the softest. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's itchy, but it is definitely woolly and kind of crunchy. Okay. Oh, I'll talk about this one. This one is Rochambeau by Karina Spencer, I believe. And it's just, it's like a shawl, like a triangular shawl, except you just connect it and then work in the round instead of back and forth, which, brilliant. That's like the most brilliant pattern ever. Anyway, my mom is texting me, so they're popping up on the screen right now. This is orange flower yarn, once again from that mystery pack that I bought, where I don't know the base or the color, but this is like a nice green and it has like little flecks of like a rusty color. Anyway, this is like, I mean, she has another super famous cowl from a long time ago that I always wanted to make and I never did, but it's the same principle and it's just a fantastic shape. Like, this is probably my favorite thing ever to knit. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so let's move on to the Handkerchief by Gudrun Johnston. This is the first one I made. I talked a little bit about it last episode because I finished another one, which I'll show you. But this one is the darker colors that I used. I think this is Rainforest Heather, Serpentine, Mauve, and Clove Heather. And it's just a little one. It used up scraps. Like it is like an ideal scrap buster. It's a fantastic pattern as well. And you can really play with the colors, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I'm definitely going to be making more of these, even though I just finished one. I already have like 2 or 3 ideas to go with certain dresses and things like that. So this is the one I finished last episode. And it's Knit Picks palette as well. And then one of the pink right there is Jameson and Smith. Yeah, I don't remember the number, but this is like Coriander Heather and Oregon Coast Heather, I think, and I think I have Finley Heather in there too. Anyway, so I like those colors a lot. So these are all like kind of the shorter cowls. I've done Ella Gordon's hat cowl, which is a really super long double wrapped one, and that one got passed off to my mom, or not passed off. It got forcibly taken by my mother, so I need to make another one. Just kidding. I like to give her a hard time for taking my knitwear, but nobody likes it more than my mom. Maybe my husband, he really does, but. And he wears his sweaters every day. He brought out his first sweater today to wear to work. So this is the Barley Sugar by Isolde Teague. This one is made out of Malabrigo. It's their single ply, like fingering. I don't remember the name of that. The colorway is Diana, though. And I just think it's so pretty. And it's kind of it's a brioche. And then you make like a tube and you're supposed to twist it. And it looks, oh, I did twist it. Yeah, so it has like a twist, which adds some interest, but it does have like a plain stockinette section. And I think it pulled really cool on that. And then it's got this nice brioche part. And so you can kind of adjust it how you wear it. So it's, you know, however you want it. Anyway, oh gosh, this is gonna be fun. So I have this one, and I've made 3 of these, but one was a gift, and it was made out of hand-dyed silk. Oh, so awesome to knit. This one's a really nice one to knit too. Like if you like kind of simple knits where you don't have to, you know, worry about a pattern or thinking too much, or like maybe a TV knit, or maybe you just don't like to have to keep track of things all the time, but your hands need to do something. Maybe you're quitting smoking. Maybe, you know, anything. You're a nervous knitter. This is like a perfect pattern for that. So it's called Barley Sugar. I keep wanting to call it Barley Light, and I think that's a Tin Can Knits pattern, but it's in one of her little collections, but she also has a standalone one that I don't remember the name of. I think it came out in a Knitworthy maybe, that's very similar, and it might be a different gauge. But this one is written for lace weight, and I use it for fingering weight quite often. So lace weight once, fingering weight twice. So this is the most recent one. No, this one's the middle one that I made. This one is a hand spun single ply. The yarn is, I think, After the Rain by Southern Cross Fiber. Oh my goodness. You would think that I never clean anything. But I just have a lot of hair and stuff everywhere all the time. And fiber, a lot of this is like spinning fiber. So this is a single weight, and I just let it do its thing. And I didn't know what to do with it because it was like quite a bit of yardage, but I didn't really want a shawl out of it. So you get more brioche. And this one, I think I twisted it an extra time accidentally before, because what you do is you start in just this plain stockinette section. Am I showing that? Yeah. And then you graft it. And I think maybe I twisted it because I wasn't paying attention just a little too much, because I think you do like, I don't know, you twist it either a full twist or a half twist or something like that. I did it a little too much, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It kind of gets swallowed up in the double layering of it all. And yeah, so that's another one of my big ones. The big ones don't fit in the jar. They have another shaker peg apparatus to hang from. Anyway, so I thought I would share those with you because I do wear them a lot and they're fun to knit, and I'm kind of tempted to drop everything and just cast a couple of them on. Let's see what else. I don't know. I don't have my notes with me. I am completely unprepared. This is just squeezing it in between things. You can probably hear my dryer going. You can probably hear my cat wanting to come in the front door. It's one of those days again. I've had some good ones this week, but today's not one of those days, but that's okay. Anyway, thought I would share and not get behind. And hopefully I'll have something interesting for you. I'd like to finish a pair of socks, either my mom's or Nio's. That would be awesome. But if that doesn't happen and I cast on a new project just because that seems what's fun, then that's what I'll do. And if that's what you need to do, then I highly encourage you to do so, because this is supposed to be fun, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.